For the first time ever on the channel, I think it's time we give the best EPs of the year some love. Now that EPs are becoming more commonplace due to streaming, I think 2023 was a great year to showcase why EPs can work for new and long-running bands and artists. I'll still have top 10 best albums coming out by the end of the year, along with top 5 worst albums. I'm not doing top 5 worst EPs because I just don't want to. Rules for the list. Number 1, this covers EPs in rock, alternative, metal, indie, punk, everything under that massive umbrella. 2, no live or cover EPs. This is just to narrow the playing field down a bit. That being said, quick honorable mention to Ghost Pantomime EP. There are some great covers on here, including the cover of Iron Maiden's Phantom of the Opera. Worth checking out. Number 3, I have not heard every EP that came out in 2023. No one has. Just because your favorite EP may not be on the list doesn't mean I think it's bad. It might just mean I didn't get a chance to hear it. And finally, it's not an absolute list with true objectivity. It's just an opinion. Don't take it too seriously. You know how these videos work. So, what are the best EPs of 2023? A late entry for 2023, and one from a band I hope to hear more about in the rock world. Post Profit is a Texas group with a fleshed out sound, and on top of that sound is some strongly written lyrics with a great vocalist who knows how to throw some weight into the words being sang and spoken. As soon as I heard Self Defeater in full, I understood why the publicists and press releases were all pushing this new group from Texas. It's hard rock riffs with punk attitude and writing. Seriously, some of the lyric writing connects instantly and is well worded and thought-provoking. Nice that rock isn't completely dumbed down in 2023. I joke around, but honestly, Post Profit have a strength to capitalize on with vocalist Matt Jackson. Even when really raising the volume and screaming, it still sounds smooth and well-defined. The vocals along with the music is also filled with hooks, so you are guaranteed to have a few sequences stuck in your head after one playthrough. It's well-written music that isn't a trope or mainstream format to the letter. This was a pleasant surprise that had me wanting to re-listen to catch all the lyrics and connections I missed, which is a great feeling when finding a new group to listen to. Self Defeater is a solid entry and introduction to a band with a strong foundation built off of it. I want to hear more of Post Profit and see them get picked up on a good tour to earn more fans. Hardcore has seen a strong uprise in popularity through heavy music. The problem sometimes is such a flux of it can be an avalanche of screaming and riffs that you cannot discern between bands and songs. Scowl not only do not have that problem, but they excel at both traditional hardcore and then go a few extra steps. The Taco Bell commercial blessing proves for the second time that Taco Bell knows good music. Psychic Dance Routine is by no means standard hardcore, even in the loudest and fiercest moments. Cat Moss and company change up the pace and volume constantly, and it all works, especially when Cat Moss starts getting vicious with her voice, where she ends up sounding like she could beat me up. Shot Down really does shoot the door down to make sure you know where Scowl's music roots lie, but as you get to the title track, you can hear how much ground this California group can cover. The hook-filled guitar riffs that drive the heavy and light songs on this EP are infectious. In under 11 minutes, Scowl managed to prove their dynamic range, energy, and make big-sounding tracks that could raise anyone's pulse. Months back when I first heard people talking about Scowl, and I heard them for myself, I was curious, and the more I listened to them, I realized this was a band to follow and get on their bandwagon. This EP is an amazing step, but I want Scowl huge leaps ahead by this time next year for all they are capable of accomplishing, both in writing, in studio, and performing on stage. I've only seen footage of the live shows, but I'm hoping to attend in person and survive. Spiritbox continues to evolve past a metalcore sound, and they aren't even close to reaching their final form. Several singles were sprinkled throughout 2023 that led to the 6-track release. The Fear of Fear was the met expectations that Spiritbox keep delivering, and on this EP you see more range from the group. Even if much of that impact was lessened from singles coming out roughly 6 months prior to the EP being released, those singles along with the other cuts on The Fear of Fear are great. The first 4 tracks of the EP especially grabbed my attention like a chokehold, and I loved what Spiritbox pumped out. It's that range in the music, not just the excellent singing from Courtney, but the music writing and structure itself of The Fear of Fear that sets the band apart. You can have heavy metalcore, but you can also have something more alternative adjacent. That variety is scarce in this side of heavy music, and the music is great. Cellar Door, Jaded, Too Close, Too Late, they all exemplify Spiritbox's best qualities. I feel the current attention and success for Spiritbox is well rewarded. The Fear of Fear helps prove that. Jaded even got attention from the recording industry for the 2024 Grammys, which is wild. It's nice that they were nominated, as they have no chance of beating Metallica for that category because it's the Grammys and they only care about Metallica for metal. But it still proves that Spiritbox's music in 2023 holds everyone's attention. Post-punk and post-hardcore have a great trophy EP for 2023 in Knocknere. Personally, that was the surprise entry as it was my introduction to Maruha, and what an introduction! After so much time with Knocknere, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, and I'm loving the continuous experience. Instrumentally, this EP is as tightly played as you can get with so much going on, whether it's the spoken word sections, the dynamic guitar range, or endless saxophone solos. Maruha defy any type of format conceived and excel in their own style. Also, if a drum track could cause an actual mountain avalanche, at some point that would be from Maruha. The opening track, Thunder, was where I went from curious to fully engaged. From there, you can feel each transition and exchange coming, and you are still surprised with the direction and sound and rhythm the songs take. At halfway through, the Tinker was when I was truly hooked by the thick and fleshed out sound. Maruha's sound is described as diverse and gritty, and I can hear that description in every track on this 22-minute EP. Even when no lyrics are being sang or spoken, you are still drawn in through every second. Maruha is a group ready to burst out of the UK underground scene, whether it's the post-rock side or the post-punk energy. I want a group like this to continue making inventive music. I want full albums and to see live shows. Knocknere is that appetizer that makes you ravenous for more. This EP is alive with Thunder. This EP is electric. I didn't know how much I was missing the Dillinger Escape Plan and Every Time I Die until I heard Better Lovers, and it was love at first listen for one of my new favorite groups. God Made Me an Animal was more than I could have hoped for in so many ways. It's as chaotic as it is impressive, and that makes me love it more. When 30 Under 13 was released as the new song while introducing the band, it was the perfect blend of everything you'd want in a supergroup like this. Then, the 16-minute EP dropped, and so did my jaw. I know that sounds cliche, but by the time I heard the scream of God Made Me an Animal in the final track, I was sitting there in a daze with all this adrenaline, but I couldn't stop because the music was so good. At just over 15 minutes, Greg proves his voice is as forceful and commanding as ever. Put that with impressive instrument composition from beginning to end. The bass lines are relentless, and the guitars go through so many transitions and shifts that I can't keep count. It's a furious flurry of sound and wrath that swings to smooth riffs and then back to chaos. It also translates well live. I saw Better Lovers shortly after the EP came out, and hearing some of these songs on a small stage while they were in between bigger tour stops was insane in all the best ways. I have come back to this EP more than any other EP this year, and more than most full albums, just because the 15 minutes hits that hard and it loops great. You want to start over again as soon as you hear the title track finish. If this going to be for everyone? No, it will scare a few people off. But if you want something heavy and you are sick of status quo, then Better Lovers is going to give you something to dive into. I love it, and I want more for the future. So what was your favorite EP of this year? I want to know, and I want people to find new music in the comments section for this video. There was a lot of good music out there in EP format, and I think that should be shared. Again, I'm glad EPs are viable again, both in streaming, on vinyl, everything. Artists realize you don't have to rush and make filler tracks to have a complete album. It's wild how many albums we all bought and streamed growing up that had Oscar Mayer levels of filler stuffed in the track list.